It's day 23 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the attacks continue on the key Ukrainian cities, including capital Kyiv. Cruise missiles have hit the city of Lviv, causing significant damage. But there are other cities, Kharkiv, Mariupol, that continue to be in the eye of the storm. Here's a report of what is the ground status right now in Ukraine.
Markets on fire, explosions around airports, charred residential buildings. Ukraine is bleeding profusely as Russia continues its onslaught. From Kyiv to Mariupol, every city paints a picture of destruction and devastation. Once brimming with life and crowded streets, one of the largest markets of Eastern Europe, Barabashovo is on fire after Russian airstrikes. Some explosions were reported around the city of Lviv in western Ukraine. At least 3 blasts were heard in the city. The Lviv mayor claims that 6 Russian cruise missiles were fired at his city. The target, areas around the airport.
The Russian plan has been to increase their ground offensive in the east and south of Ukraine. And at the same time, they would keep pressure on Ukraine by bombarding cities in the west, including Lviv and Ivano-Franko area. So this is just a part of that strategy.
In Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, a raging fire was seen engulfing a building after non-stop shelling. Plumes of smoke continue to billow for hours.
Зараз ми знаходимося на Виноградарі. Пролетів снаряд, ми бачимо велику воронку. Що жахливо, що поряд знаходиться дитячий садок, з цієї сторони знаходиться школа.
Bombardments on residential buildings have caused a lot of casualties, says the Ukrainian administration.
I'm Kyiv right now, and I'm in the center of Kyiv. I'll just turn my camera around to show you around. It's absolute quiet here, silence like nobody lives here. This is the center of Kyiv, the heart of Kyiv city, and Kyiv is the heart of Ukraine. Absolute silence, no noise whatsoever. Hardly any people around, hardly any traffic around, total quiet.
Stories of loss, devastation and despair on the streets of Ukraine's capital continue to beam out. But Ukraine's resilience continues to be the main picture. Fighting back against the Russian onslaught by shooting down their helicopters and air missiles. In Kherson in South Ukraine on the Black Sea, locals refuse to take handouts from Russian troops in an open act of defiance.
Our Mariupol, our Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Kyiv region, Izium, all our hero cities are in very difficult situations. We are doing everything, all of us. Absolutely. Our army, police, SES, humanitarian convoys, church, all our people. We will not leave you. We will not forgive them. You will be free. Definitely, I know it. Like all of us on our land.
Слава усім нашим героям. Слава Україні.
23 days and counting. It's not just military establishments, but Russia seen to be now targeting schools, hospitals, theaters, and civilian residential areas. With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.
Ukraine is alleging a genocide after Mariupol theatre sheltering hundreds of civilians was struck by Russia. The theatre that was being used as a bomb shelter, residents are now fleeing with several corpses still being buried under the ruins. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is trying to keep up the motivation of his nation high, and that for fighting the Russian troops for 23 days now. So he's meeting the injured civilians, to meeting soldiers, to remaining defiant on his own demands in public. Zelensky appears to be doing all that he can. Many are already calling him a hero there coming out from this conflict. Here's more on this story.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the man of the hour, keeping the Ukrainian fighting spirit high, is motivating fellow citizens to protect the integrity of the country. The people's leader Zelensky on Thursday visited a family of injured civilians who suffered from shelling in Warsaw city.
Так? Тобто мы оккупировали ТикТок?
The Ukrainian president also met personnel of State Emergency Service to thank them for their dedication. Ukrainian cities are reeling under the constant bombardment by Russian hellbirds. But people of the country have refused to bow down. As talks take place, Zelensky has made his demands clear. He wants the war to end, with security guarantees and sovereignty. He wants to ensure Ukraine's territorial integrity with real protection of Kyiv. The results of the talks will depend on how much Ukraine and Russia are willing to yield. Bureau Report, India Today.
Ukraine continues to fight back, and Ukrainian boxing legend Volodymyr Klitschko has now vowed to fight against mighty Russia. Ukraine is growing its resistance force, and now Olympic gold medalist has called for isolation of Russia from all sporting events. His brother Vitaly Klitschko, who is now the mayor of Kyiv, is also fighting alongside his brother Volodymyr. Take a look at this report and how the boxing legend of the world has joined in this war.
Former professional boxer, Olympic gold medalist, two-time world heavyweight champion. Ukrainian boxing legend Vladimir Klitschko has now vowed to fight against mighty Russia. The 45-year-old has called for the isolation of Russia from all sporting events. Hall of Fame Vladimir says he will defend his country till his last breath.
This is our home. This is our home. Yes, there are a lot of refugees left towards west, but a lot are coming back. So the families were brought to the west, part of it, and a lot of men and women. I'm proud of our women standing strong, coming back, defending the country. This is our home.
He is not the only member of his family who is taking on Putin.
Bullshit. Sorry. Where is military target? This building is military target?
Vitaly Klitschko, who was undefeated WBC heavyweight champion and now the mayor of Kyiv, is also fighting alongside his brother Vladimir. Vitaly Klitschko has been mayor of Kyiv since 2014.
We will be defend our city. It's our homes. We never think to leave. It's our homes. We defend our children, family, our buildings, our city, and our future of Ukraine.
Klitschko brothers had also enlisted themselves earlier this month into the Ukrainian Reserve Army. The two big men, standing shoulder to shoulder, are in a fight unlike any they ever imagined. The prize for this one is not a championship belt, but the survival of their country itself. Bureau Report, India Today.
Putin is feeling the pinch, quite literally, with the American drug maker suspending supply of Botox and fillers to Russia. Putin is rumored to have relied on this famous anti-wrinkle treatment for close to 10 years now. So cosmetic surgeons are saying that Vladimir Putin seems to have got the Botox, cheek fillers and eye and chin lift. So what face will Putin put forward now?
Is Vladimir Putin addicted to Botox? Famous for his reliance on Botox, the Russian president is all set to really feel the pinch. Because of the war in Ukraine, the American drug maker AbbVie, which owns the blockbuster anti-wrinkle treatment, is halting operations in Russia. The biopharmaceutical company has suspended supply of Botox and fillers to Russia, the most popular products in Russian aesthetic medicine. The use of Botox by Putin has been widely reported. A Sydney cosmetic doctor had called out Vladimir Putin for having too much filler, blasting the Russian president in a social media post. Rumors that the Russian president has undergone cosmetic procedures have been around for years, with some cosmetic surgeons believing they have been done in a bid to improve his tough guy image. There are claims that the 69-year-old has had several cosmetic procedures over the years, including Botox, cheek fillers, and a chin and eye lift. Rumors first began swirling that Putin has received Botox when he attended a meeting in Kiev in 2011 with a black eye. Botox, plastic surgery or steroids. The transformation of the Russian president from a gaunt geek to a bloated brute could be because of one or all of these things. But with Botox supply being suspended, what face will Putin now put forward? Bureau Report, India Today.
Everyone's been talking about the Kashmir Files movie, and now former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has added fuel to the raging Kashmir Files fire. Abdullah has declared that the film, which depicts the brutal exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, is peddling lies. Meanwhile, the filmmaker Vivek Agnihotri has now also alleged that certain groups are trying to ban his film in New Zealand, for example. What's been happening on that front? Take a look at this report.
तब कश्मीर छोड़कर जाने को कहा
हमारे लोग मर रहे हैं सर।
कश्मीर चल रहा है, खुलेआम कश्मीरी हिंदुओं का कत्ले आम हो रहा है।
पंडितों को किसी ने नहीं भगाया।
The Kashmir Files has reopened old wounds and created new fault lines.
वो कश्मीर हमारा था, जहाँ पंचतंत्र लिखा गया, वो कश्मीर हमारा था। तू जानता ही क्या है कश्मीर के बारे में?
Filmmaker Vivek Agnihotri's most talked about film has stirred up a political controversy.
Continue as 32 episodes.
The latest to add fuel to the raging fire is Omar Abdullah. The former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir has slammed the film for peddling lies.
उसमें तरह-तरह के झूठ दिखाए गए हैं, बिलखसूस उस वक्त की हुकूमत के बारे में। हकीकत ये है कि जब ये वाक़ये हुए, जब कश्मीरी पंडित यहाँ से निकल गए, उस वक्त फारूक अब्दुल्ला वज़ीर आला नहीं था।
The Kashmir Files is being actively pushed by the BJP-ruled states. State governments have been declaring the film tax-free and giving employees special leave to watch the film.
रेप चार्जेस लगाए जाएंगे तो ये सताए हुए लोग गन्जे उठाएंगे सर।
कश्मीरी पंडितों ने तो कभी कोई बंदूक नहीं उठाई।
The Prime Minister himself had called out the ecosystem for trying to discredit a film which he said revealed the truth.
तो कहने का तात्पर्य ये है कि ये जो तर्कहीन बातें हैं इसलिए बिक रही हैं क्योंकि हमने सही माने में शोध नहीं करते, अध्ययन नहीं करते। अब एक फिल्म बन गई इत्तेफाक से जिसमें शोध हुआ, जिसमें तथ्यों का अध्ययन हुआ तो आपत्ति आने लग गई।
The makers of Kashmir Files have been crying conspiracy. In the latest, Vivek Agnihotri has claimed that some communal groups were trying to get his film banned in New Zealand. The Home Ministry has also granted Y category security to the filmmaker. Agnihotri will now be provided with the security cover of 8 officers, which is likely to have 2 commandos and 6 police personnel.
Kashmir has never been an integral part of India, and this is a historical fact.
Directed and written by Vivek Agnihotri, The Kashmir Files depicts the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus from the state after systematic killings by Pakistan-backed terrorists. While a whirlpool of politics and hysteria swirls over the Kashmir Files, as one of India's most blood-drenched chapters finally been dragged out in the sun,
तकदीर वही बदल सकता है जिसके पास ये पावर है, पॉलिटिकल पावर.
Bureau Report, India Today.
In a shocking incident, a mob allegedly vandalized, looted an ISKCON Radhakanta temple in Bangladesh's Dhaka. According to reports now emerging, many members of the temple from the Hindu community at 222 Lal Mohan Saha Street in Dhaka have received serious injuries in the attack. ISKCON Kolkata strongly reacted to the incident. Here's a report of what happened in Bangladesh.
Just when everyone in India was soaked in holy colors, a 200-strong mob allegedly vandalized and looted an ISKCON Radhakanta temple in Bangladesh's capital. The brutal attack left many members of the temple injured. Senior advisor to Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Kanchan Gupta, also shared a video of the alleged attack. Gupta alleged that the temple was vandalized by the Islamist mob led by Haji Shafiullah. ISKCON Kolkata strongly reacted to the incident.
Around 200 people entered our temple premises. They were chanting slogans like Narae Takbir and all that. Then they started vandalizing our temple, and in the scuffle, 3 of our devotees got injured. Police came on time this time, and they were able to drive away these miscreants from our temple premises.
Radha Ramandas, Vice President of ISKCON Kolkata, said minority community is under attack in Islamic countries. He also slammed United Nations' silence on the matter.
Thousands and lakhs of Hindu minorities in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh are suffering. Many of them are killed, raped. But UN goes in mute mode. So they need to unmute.
This is not the first time when Hindus have been targeted in Bangladesh. Last year, at least 3 people were killed after miscreants attacked Durga Puja Pandal in Komila town. Previously, similar incidents were also reported from Tipu Sultan Road in Dhaka and Kotwali in Chittagong. With repeated attacks on the minority communities in Bangladesh, the big question remains: will justice be served this time? Bureau Report, India Today.
That is all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. You can always log on to indiatoday.in for all the latest or download the application on your phones. Wishing you and your family a very happy Holi.